Hello, everyone, and welcome to St. John Sea Dogs Hockey on Flow Hockey TV and the Sea Dogs YouTube channel here tonight for this evening's Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League matchup between the St. John Sea Dogs and the Shawinigan Cataractes. It's a quick turnaround for these two teams. February 14th, Valentine's Day, these two teams played where the Sea Dogs had a 3-2 overtime win. Jabez Seymour had his first career QMJHL hat trick in that matchup. However, he is out of the lineup here tonight with an injury. Who will step up for the Dogs? Time will tell. We will see. As both lineups, both teams banged up. 3 injuries for the Sea Dogs: Oliver Smirniks, Vincent Croteau, and of course, Jabez Seymour. As we take a look to the other side, Jacob Lachance, Sam Boyer, Noah McKinnon, and Cody Dupuis all out of the lineup with injuries. Cole Chandler, a big loss for the Cataractes as well. He's suspended for 1 game this evening. So Shawinigan will be without their 45-point getter in Cole Chandler, and Boston Bruins draft pick as well. The Cataractes have been on a bit of a slide here in their last 5 games. They are 1-4, including a disappointing Maritime road trip where they ended up losing every single game in that contest. The Sea Dogs are 2-0 in their last 2, beating out the Victoriaville Tigre and the aforementioned Shawinigan Cataractes. With that, we'll step out as we take part in our opening ceremony, followed by O Canada and our national anthem, and then into puck drop with our starting netminders on the other side. You're listening to St. John Sea Dogs Hockey on Flow Hockey TV and the Sea Dogs YouTube channel. With our national anthem all wrapped up, we are almost ready to go for puck drop here from the Center Gervais Auto. As we'll take a look at our starting netminders. First off, for the home side, Mathis Fernandez. He played against the Dogs whenever they were at TD Station last time around. He stopped 27 out of 30 shots in the eventual 3-2 loss. He is 19, 8-1-3 on the season, a 283 goals against average, and a 909 save percentage with one shutout to add to that. At the other side, for head coach Travis Crickard, Raphael Courchain gets another start in net for the Sea Dogs. He didn't play one game on the last Quebec road trip. It was Arseny Radkov who played all 3 games for the Sea Dogs. Now, Courchain gets a chance here on the last Quebec swing of the season for the Dogs. Last time he was in the crease for the Sea Dogs, he stopped 32 out of 34 versus the Victoriaville Tigre. He also played against the Cataractes, where he stopped once again 32 out of 34 in back-to-back wins for him to improve his record to 11-13-2. With that said, we are now set for opening face-off. Schneider and Joseph, 2 rookies, will square off, and the Shawinigan rookie gets the better of the Sea Dogs 16-year-old sensation. Here come the Cataract with it, as Klima can't get that pass to work out. Angelo Fullerton back again. Bodom Foos for Zach Morin. Fires one up the length of the ice that couldn't connect with Alexi Joseph. Back into the hands of Courchain. It will come. As a quick start here, Sea Dogs can't connect on their opening few passes, so they'll have to regroup once again. Joseph goes off the boards, throws this one outside of the zone. Picked back up again by Matthew Plant, as he'll send this one down low. Picking things up, it will be Bodom Foos for the St. John Sea Dogs. Cam Chartrand also in the lineup again. Good to see him back, as he's been dealing with a back injury throughout the whole season. As now here, a partial 2-on-1, trying to hand one over. Semenov couldn't connect on that feed. As since coming over to the Shawinigan Cataractes, Gleb Semenov got traded from the Baie-Comeau Drakkar at the trade deadline. He was pretty good with the Drakkar, 19 points, but then he's come over here to Shawinigan. 15 games played for him and only 2 assists in that time. The 2007-born Russian native is up in the lineup here tonight. He's on the second line with Vince Ellie, former St. John Sea Dog, and Felix Lacerte, who has been red hot for the Cataract. There's no question about that. Top 5 in league points. As this one played back inside of Cataract territory, picking things up now will be Hockley. He'll fire one up to the red line, turning and firing. Ellie fanned on that pass, and he'll dish it back here one more time. D to D will go right up the middle. That one couldn't be corralled by Lacerte. It's able to find Vince Ellie instead, and he'll try to whirl his way inside the zone. Will Yarrett back for Travis Crickard's squad. He'll play it around for Wasmer. Wasmer will sneak in behind the bench again. Duhamel up for Rozzi, and he'll chip this one off the glass and outside the zone. Picked back up by Louis Felix Gagnon, and it will eventually be dumped back inside of Shawinigan territory once again, St. John territory. As 18-10 left to play here in period number 1. No shots on goal yet so far, as we have Fernandez out to rim this one around. Fullerton tries to work this one along, but couldn't connect. Baldwin able to hold it in along the blue line. Donovan now gives a hard check, as we have Fullerton, Grew, Donovan all out there. Quick shot in by Donovan. Couldn't hit the target on that one. Rides up off and wide. Here's Baldwin with it again. Down low. Grew tries to center one off to the inside. Couldn't work out. Now back the other way. Here comes Bergeron. Spins one around as he tries to go tape to tape, but couldn't connect with Olivier Charon as the 244s collide. Carl Otto Magnuson will win that puck for St. John. Now here's Baldwin. Dishes it off. Grew across the line. Back for Baldwin. Looking for the backhand. That one rises up and over the crossbar. As Grew back for it again. Grew tries to work one up. Now Donovan takes a swing at that one. Couldn't connect. We have Plamondon back for it again. 17-10 now left to go as time continues to trickle down here in our first period as a fast-paced back-and-forth start between these two clubs. It's going to be Nolan Aru still looking for his first QMJHL goal on the season since being called up midway through. 27 games, 9 assists. It's going to be Duhamel. Spins away from one. Olivier Duhamel looks to his left. fires a pass over, chipping this one up and outside of the zone. Shawinigan looks to counteract once again, working their way through the neutral zone, rimming it around. Drabchinski, now it's going to be Schneider for the Cats. Here's the Cataractes, center out in front, trying to work their way in as Klima. Korshane out of the goal, centering one out in front, couldn't connect with the open man. Here's Ligasakos to the inside, a backhander, and that one held on to by Raphael Korshane, who had himself quite the shift, but able to hold this one 0-0 early on in our first period. As Korshane with a great save to the glove side, as Shawinigan tries to snap their losing skid. 0-2-1-1 on their latest Maritime road trip. As we have Schneider and Joseph once again facing off. Grew is going to join Alexi Joseph and Zach Morin. As Olivier Grew was traded out of Shawinigan to St. John. The trade was Vince Ellie to the Cataractes for, at that time, a 16-year-old Olivier Grew and 2024 second-round draft pick. I don't think that Sea Dogs fans will be too upset with that trade. Panning out pretty good for them. Olivier Grew second in team points as it stands right now. As the captain for the Sea Dogs, playing in career game 148 with 95 points in his career. Here's Bergeron trying to drive in towards the blue paint. He was knocked away at the last second. Now St. John tries to clear again. Morin throws it cross ice. Predome's the first one to it. Domfus now back for it as he'll go D to D. Chartrand plays this one up ice. Spinning away from one is Morin off for Joseph. He was offside and over the blue line just a second before his line mate, and that will result in a whistle. There's a good look at Yuri Klima. He had both of the Shawinigan goals when they were at TD Station just over a week ago. And in February, 7 games played, he has 6 goals. As he's been on a goal-scoring streak, 39 points in 39 games for him. 20 goals, 19 assists. Also, Shawinigan with 2 affiliated players here this evening. Louis-Emile Dumais, as a shot comes on. That one fought off by Fernandez. And Nathan Wallette as well. Dumais wearing 66, Wallette wearing 77 for Daniel Renault and his Shawinigan Cataract team. As there's a good look. Mathis Fernandez, former third-round draft pick by the Quebec Remparts. 20-year-old goaltender. 13-9 last year and already playing much more. 19-8-1-3. He's been busy. There's no question about that. Here's Maxime Coche. Drops it off. Trying to fire a shot in and around the horn. Looking out in front was Coche as he couldn't just bury that one. Close but no cigar. As again now, back we come. It's going to be Semenov. Stripped away from him. Nice one-touch feed. Duhamel joins the rush. Looking out in front. Rozzi just couldn't get a stick on that one. Back down again it will come. As Ligasakos now. He'll try to gear up and take over for the Shawinigan Cataracts in a 0-0 game. 14:50 left to play in period number 1. As we're all square at 1 apiece. Olivier Duhamel out there for the St. John Sea Dogs as he's had a nice campaign here so far. As 5 goals, 17 assists, and 22 points. As now 14 and a half minutes left to go. 1-1 the score, or 1-1 are the shots, not the score. Here's Carl Otto Magnuson. Came over from the Moncton Wildcats at the trade deadline. We'll have this one sent down the length of the ice. As again now Grew almost turned over right up the middle. That one was close. Now here come the Cats back the other way. Klima boxed off there by Magnuson. Chipped out in front, to the point it goes. Spinning away is going to be Plamondon, handing it off. Quick shot in by Plante, never got to the goal. Loose out in front, they scramble for it. Corshane down, there's a pile up, and the whistle able to go. As 13:57 left to play in our first period, Raphael Corshane comes up big again for the Sea Dogs here in Shawinigan. Welcome back. Luke Much with you here on Flow Hockey TV and the Sea Dogs YouTube channel for tonight's Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League matchup. We're still tied at 0. Haven't broken the ice yet here in Shawinigan. First of 3 games on this Quebec road trip for the Sea Dogs. Last Quebec road trip of the regular season. As off the draw to the glove side of Corshane. We'll have Olivier Duhamel with it. And he'll pitchfork this one up to the red line. Quickly turn back over as the Sea Dogs will have to regroup. Drabchinski being chased down there by Klima. Bergeron as well. Frederick Bergeron was drafted 15th overall in the QMJHL entry draft this past spring. As his dad, Marc-Andre, 490-game NHL veteran. Here's Laframboise. Chips this one inside the zone. Fullerton now. Works it back up and along the half wall. Donovan can't get outside the zone, but with help from Duhamel, he will. Grew enters across the blue line. He'll let that one go. Fernandez forced to hang on as Plante and Grew mixing it up in the blue paint before the linesman comes and separates the two of them. And now he'll go from the blocker side of Fernandez. Finishing up that thought on Bergeron. His dad, Marc-Andre, as I mentioned, played 490 NHL games. He also had a 101-point season in the QMJHL from the blue line. He was a defenseman. And that is quite a feat. 101 points on the blue line. Don't see that much anymore, that's for sure. Here's Chartrand. He'll fire a shot up in and over the cage. So good to see number 5 back out there for St. John. As Nolan Aru gets rubbed out there, not able to advance the puck, as Satin now will play this one up ice. And it's going to be dumped in deep to the blocker side of Corshane. Chartrand tries to move it along. Taken away, however, by Shawinigan. Looking up to the top of the point. D to D. Lanthier tries to let one go. It's the rebound cleared through the blue paint. Aru again with it now. He'll advance this one up for Dom Foose, who's going to join and lead the rush. Dumping one in. Crayer tries to activate his Lantier again. Quick to move the puck away. Not letting the Sea Dogs get anything of it. Here's Satin Jr. again. Can't work this one out. Morin, cross ice feed right up and off the bench. Joseph lets a shot go. Fernandez had a little bit of trouble with that one, but he's able to locate the rebound and hang on. As Fernandez struggled a bit on that Maritime road swing, as expected when a team goes 0-4. And the Maritimes, as first game, let up 3 goals to Charlottetown before getting the pull, and Philippe Boucher to come in and finish the job. As there's a look at that last one. Backhander right out in front of Corshane. Now off the opening draw. With 12:15 left to go, this one's going to be sent down the length of the ice for an icing call. As Wasmert will come back for it. So, we'll get set to go again from Shawinigan territory. As Yuri Klima, former 20th overall selection, 2023 import draft. 40 points in 64 games last year, and he's taken quite a step here this year. No doubt about that. Morin down low to the goal. Now the backhand. Fernandez able to hang on as we have Klima with it again. He's brought down, and the official's arm will go up. I believe it could be, it's going to be Morin heading off to the box for a holding call, and that will get the Shawinigan power play its first opportunity of the game. As Zach Morin off to the penalty box. 51 penalty minutes on the year for him. That's third on the St. John Sea Dogs. So the Cataractes power play this year, 19.6%. That's 13th in the QMJHL. Nothing spectacular. The Sea Dogs PK, however, is towards the top of the league. They're fourth, 81.6%. As we're underway, here's Plant with it. He'll hand one off Lacerte. Back for Plant. He'll take a shot in. This one will deflect off and wide as it's Ligasakos. Ligasakos again now, down low. Ellie looks up for Lacerte. Felix Lacerte, wearing number 55 for the Cataractes. He's been strong. 75 points for him in 53 games. Now it's a turnover, and here comes Grew up the middle, trying to race in, looking for the backdoor feed. Sea Dogs can't be caught with too many men up ice. Grew has to hustle back, 4-on-2. Back the other way to the goal. A shot wide of the target. There's what an opportunity there for Shawinigan. Couldn't pot that one home. Here's Lacerte. Ligasakos walks in. He'll take a shot himself. Didn't miss by much. And there was some net there. Just missed a spot. Ligasakos once more towards the goal. Backhander in from Laframboise. Got poked away at the last second. Wasner pounces on that one. Not able to get it out. Held in at the half wall. We have Lacerte with it once more. Up to the point. Vince Ellie works it across. Plant for Ellie. Ellie back again. Ligasakos just couldn't hit his spot. As there's net up there, just can't hit the 6x4 so far. Here's Lacerte, waits and shoots again. Rebound out in front. Corshane down, puck loose. Worked off and behind the goal eventually. Held in. It's going to be Plant. Ligasakos works it across, trying to move in. Back for Ligasakos, takes the shot. Big block. Julian Wasmer lays it all out and on the line. Shawinigan once again looking to regain control and set things up. Laframboise has Ligasakos, can't hit him. Ellie will wrap it around, and he finds him. Ligasakos for Lacerte. As Lacerte waits, centers, blocked off again by Wasmer, held in by Plant. Plant takes the shot, Corshane down to hang on. What a sequence there from the Shawinigan Cataract power play. But the Sea Dogs penalty kill comes up big. As my goodness, that was a star-studded power play for the Cataracts right after I finished saying that they were only 13th in the league. Not even above 20%, not even above 20%. The Cataracts are an odd team. They're very, very strong on home ice in pretty much everything. On the road, you see their percentages drop a lot in a bunch of different categories. It's just looking at their records even. 18-6-1-1 are the Cataracts at home. When they're on the road, they're almost a 500 hockey club. 12-11-1-3. It's you don't see teams with that big of a swing that often. Either way, 9:35 left to play in period number 1. It's going to be turned over. Here comes Klima back into the zone. As now Semenov plays it back once more. Klima waits, pulls up, and dishes this one off for Koche. Koche can't cleanly recept that pass, so it will be worked back for Bo Domfus. As we have Domfus with it now behind the goal of Corshane, who stopped 7 out of 7 shots here so far throughout the first almost 11 minutes. Dishing it off. Here comes Donovan. Enters into the zone. Offside is the call. With just around 9 minutes left to play here from Shawinigan. Still 0-0 the score. Which is surprising considering these two teams and some of the points getters that they have. There's Ligasakos. As man, that one was close. Stepped in, tried to go up high. That might have caught a bit of the bar. Taking another look at it, but Interesting. Either way, able to stay outside of the goal. Play back underway here as these two teams continue to battle it out. It's going to be Yared. Drops it back, Baldwin. Again, tries to move this one up ice. Chipped and tipped deep inside the zone. Gagnon dishes it across, trying to steal. Here's Yared. Drops it back. Quick shot in. That one going to be blocked off. The rebound for Donovan was rifled up and over the cage. Great job there by Rozzy, Yared, and Donovan to force the turnover and try to make the Cataractes pay. This puck dumped down the length of the ice. Yared beat out quickly there by Sharon, as Sharon was way behind Will Yared, but was able to cancel out that icing call. Here's Yared again. He'll wait from behind his own goal. Baldwin, Drabchinski out there on the point. As the Sea Dogs in the midst of a line change. We have Nolan Aru, Matthew Crayer will join him along with Alexei Gauthier. As this one dumped into the blocker side of Fernandez. Quickly in on that loose puck is Crayer. It's going to be won by the Cataract, and Plamondon will play this one up ice. As Miroslav Satin Jr. tries to take over. Quickly worked back by St. John again, as now Aru tries to shimmy shake his way down past a Cataract player. As along the goal line, now working it back in behind the goal. Aru, Gauthier in there. Here's Crayer now. Plays it back up to the point. Chartrand dishes it off as we have Dom Foose with it. Bo Dom Foose again. Looks to play it back up to the point. Chartrand shoots that one tipped off just wide. Gauthier, Crayer as well. In the puck battle for this puck, off to the glove side. It's going to be worked free by Satin Jr. 7th round draft pick of the Washington Capitals is Miroslav Satin Jr. He has 4 points in 22 games, 2 goals, and 2 assists. He also had 24 games played with Saginaw in the OHL before he was cut, and Shawinigan scooped him up. 6'7", 202 pounds from East Amherst, New York. It's a big frame. Great net front guy in the power play as well. Ellie is going to be bumped away there by Wasmer. Thrown up to the top of the point, walking the line, taking the shot, rebounds loose. Ellie's there, not able to tap it home. As again, we have Donovan trying to clear the zone. Stood up there with a big hit on their way inside of enemy territory. The Sea Dogs look to attack. Here's Grew. Waiting, trying to buy some time. Olivier Grew up to the point. Duhamel dishes it off. Wasmer waits, takes the shot, scores! Julian Wasmer, his first as a St. John Sea Dog, will let it fly from the blue line and will beat Fernandez. 1-0 for St. John. As Julian Wasmer gets a pass up from Grew across to Duhamel, and Wasmer's there, lets it fly. Fernandez couldn't see it. And Julian Wasmer, his first as a St. John Sea Dog, gives the Dogs the 1-0 lead. And this is a big goal for St. John. Look at the bodies in front of Fernandez. 4 bodies in front of him. Can't see the puck. It's hard to stop it. And what a big goal that is for St. John. When scoring first, the Cataracts are 22-5-1-4. As that is a tough record. You're playing against some heavy odds there. So for St. John to get the first goal in this matchup is massive. Here's Koche. He'll take a shot. This one deflects off and wide. Back the other way. Here come the Cataracts with it now. Dumps this one in. As we have an icing call just not passing the blue line was Elias Schneider. And with that, we'll step out. Julian Wasmer's first of the season from Olivier Duhamel and Olivier Grew give the Sea Dogs the lead here in Shawinigan. Welcome back. Luke Much with you here on Flow Hockey TV and the Sea Dogs YouTube channel. As 1-0 the score for St. John. Wasmer from Duhamel and Grew. Just moments ago, we'll get the party started here. As I just mentioned, massive goal for St. John. The record of the Cataractes when scoring first, 22-5-1-4. So it's almost a must-do if you want to beat Shawinigan. Here come the Cataractes with it again, trying to respond. Here's Klima now, drives in, takes a bump there from Baldwin. Magnuson as well, gives him a little shot before heading into the boards. Coche in on that board battle, as we have Everett Baldwin with it once more. For Baldwin, he's tied fourth for defenseman goals throughout the season so far. As again, it's going to be Magnuson. Works this one off. Once again, Baldwin. Stretch feet off to the far side. Here comes Coche into the zone. Tries to center one out in front. Joseph just couldn't get a clean handle on that one. As again now, it's going to be Shawinigan. Laframboise tries to counterattack. Domfus in there, as is Chartrand. Morin now takes over. Looks up ice. He hits Alexi Joseph. Here comes Joseph now. Over the blue line, has to pull back. Fullerton was just a little too fast there. So now Chartrand leads the rush. Off for Fullerton again. Dumped in. Morin tries to head in after that one. Plamondon will beat him to it. He'll throw the backhander up the boards. Held in by the Dogs. As Laframboise again tries to go over the blue line. We have Fullerton again trying to battle with his man. As once more now, it's going to be centered up and over the red line. Looking to take their way in. Bergeron goes down low. Satin Jr. again around the horn it will come, and picking things up is Louis-Emile Dumais. First time we've seen him out there tonight for the Cataract. As he'll try to work this one around again. Sent down low. It's going to be Satin Jr. Pulling one back again now. Lantier at the blue line. Works it around Morin. Still it's Lantier. Nice move. Scores. Lantier walks around Morin, who didn't have a stick. Cuts it through the low blocker as it just trickles past Raphael Corshane. And it's 1-0, or it's 1-1 as the Cataracts tie things up. Take a look here. Lantier goes around one, then works it around a Roux. Damfus is caught flat-footed. And that one's going to sneak through Raphael Corshane as we take another look here. That one looks like it just surprised Corshane, as there was a lot of room on that blocker's side. And just looks like he wasn't ready for it. Stick wasn't on the ice either, so maybe one that he was a bit surprised about. Either way, Lantier, the two number threes scoring in this one. Wasmer for the Sea Dogs, and Lantier, his third of the year for the Cataracts. As this one's going to be worked out, but the net will fall off, and we will have a whistle and a stoppage of play. As there's Nathan Wallet out there for the Cataract. So 1-1 the score here as Lantier ties things up. Waiting on getting the official call on the goal here to see the assists. As right now just marked unassisted, but we'll wait and see if that's going to change. Shots 9-7 in favor of the Cataract. As we get set to go here once again. Crayer kicked out of the face-off. Coming to step in is Gauthier. Gauthier loses that one. Lacerte will snap that one back. As from behind his own goal, Gagnon finds Lacerte. Here comes Felix Lacerte. Works it up. Ellie will rim this one in. Semenov out there as well. Lacerte again from below the goal line. Jams on the brakes. Tries to work around Julian Wasmer. He'll play a backhander for Semenov. The two number 71s collide. As we have Duhamel beating out Semenov. Duhamel tries to turn on the Jets. He'll give it off for Gauthier. Wants it back, but he was tangled up and couldn't get the pass. Wasmer sweeps one down. It's going to be Ellie with it again. Finds Lacerte. Lacerte dumps this one in for Wasmer. As we have Wasmer dropping it back, Duhamel looks to take over. Semenov quick to return the favor and gives a jolt to Olivier Duhamel. Up and along the half wall, here's Angelo Fullerton with it. Donovan tries to get himself open. Fullerton's going to turn on the Jets and drop this one back for Grew. It's poked away from the Dogs' captain, Drabczynski. We'll try to win it back. As here's Baldwin. It's back now and inside of Shawinigan hands. As we have Ligasakos. He'll turn this one over. It's now Fullerton on his horse after it. Can't get it in and away from the Cataractes. Once again aggressive in their own end. Ligasakos couldn't cleanly handle it. Fullerton now has an opportunity to keep the puck in, and he does, only momentarily. Backhand no-look pass isn't able to connect with Klima. Baldwin now from inside of his own blue line. Finds Donovan. He'll rim this one down and around the horn. Fernandez out to play it. Lantier comes and he'll grab it from him. Here's Julian Lantier. Has Schneider. Cross ice feed. Is taken in smoothly there. As again another feed looking for Ligasakos. Couldn't connect. With around 90 seconds left to go in period number 1. We have Coche. He's tangled up with there. Schneider now again. Back and across the horn it will go. Here come the Cataractes with it once more. A shot coming in will deflect up and go off the end wall. Rossi's there, as is Ligasakos. Now Schneider. Back again, and here comes Yared. Through the inside lane, it's going to be Yared racing in towards the goal, and he scores. Will Yared just burns his man to the outside and lets it fly right over the shoulder of Fernandez, and it's going to be 2-1. In favor of the St. John Sea Dogs. Take a look here at the speed from 22. Gets the feed from Rossi. Turns on the Jets. And Lantier just can't catch him in time. Nice feed over from Rossi on the give and go. As Yared books it off the back bar and in. Over the glove side of Fernandez. And the Sea Dogs have the lead again. Against a Shawinigan team that has struggled heavily against Maritime Division rivals. As Joseph and Bergeron mixing it up here. Both rookies this season. As Alexi Joseph with 54 points in 46 games. Bergeron with 7 and 31. Both young, lots of time here. So the Sea Dogs with 2 goals on 8 shots against the overage netminder Fernandez. Now here come the Cataractes again, trying to answer back before the period ends. 45 seconds left to go, but it's the Sea Dogs carrying the puck up ice. Grew dumps this one in. As it's going to be handed off Morin. Couldn't cleanly control. As now Laframboise. Yared tries to work it in free. Here's Morin. Once again pressured here from the Cataractes. Yared across, Grew up to the top of the point. We have Chartrand with a shot coming in. That one blocked off in front. The rebound. Bergeron on the close-sided half wall. Tries to get it out. It's going to be coughed up. Here comes Grew in. Tries to rip one home against his former team. Back again. Trying to center one across. Here's Chartrand. Lets it go. That one tipped off wide. Yared looking out in front. 5 seconds left. Centered off. Morin couldn't tap that one home. Back to the point again. Another drive in. And that one will miss. As a hectic end of the period. 2-1 the score for the St. John Sea Dogs. We have Julian Wasmer opening up the scoring. That one is going to be assisted by Olivier Duhamel and Olivier Grew. Then Julian Lantier gets on the board unassisted. And then Will Yared from Dylan Rossi to round things out, to wrap up our opening 20 minutes of play. We'll take a break. When we come back, period 2 action between the Sea Dogs and the Cataractes. Welcome back. Luke Much with you here on the St. John Sea Dogs YouTube channel alongside Flow Hockey to bring you the second period between the St. John Sea Dogs and the Shawinigan Cataractes, where after 20 minutes of play, the Sea Dogs lead the game by a score of 2-1. Julian Wasmer's first as a Sea Dog, followed by Will Yared on a laser of a shot, and Julian Lanche on a great individual effort to make this the 2-1 score that we are at now. An early icing call, and we'll come down to our right, where Raphael Corshane is stationed up for this middle period of play. There's a good look at Felix Plamondon. 29 points on the year for him. 5 goals, 24 assists. Not on the first power play unit, however, despite leading his team in points by defenseman. Here's Schneider in on the face-off, loses that one to Grew. As it's going to be won back by the Dogs, trying to flee the zone quickly, brought back and into the neutral zone. Donovan gets tangled up there by 2 Cataract players as Grew tries to work this one up ice. Fullerton out there to complete the trio up front for St. John. Fullerton will now intercept this pass, and here they come. Back the other way. Curl and drag. That one deflects off of a stick and will trickle in towards Fernandez, who will easily scoop that one up and wait for the whistle of the official. As we mentioned last time these two teams played on Valentine's Day, February 14th, the Sea Dogs won that one by a score of 3-2. The hat trick in that one belonging to Jabez Seymour, the first of his QMJHL career. Also the first goal that he scored as a St. John Sea Dog was that game. And mixed it in with a goal the very next game after. Now out in this one with an injury. So we'll do things all over again from the blocker side of Fernandez, who stopped 27 out of 30 shots that he faced last time these two teams met. As here we go. Ellie against his former team. As we have a battle for it here. Fullerton lost that draw as Grew was kicked out. Chartrand will be the first one back for it inside of Sea Dogs territory. Grew with it again. As this one turned over, not able to get a shot on was Ellie. Drops it back, and once again looking to take over. Here's Grew firing this one off rink wide, trying to get onto his horse to take over is Fullerton. Slows that one down a little bit, but he's in a sea of navy and yellow jersey, still able to steal that one, and inside the zone he'll come. Takes a swing at it, but Lacerte was there to knock it away. As it's Wasmer with it again now. He'll curl up and try to break this one out by himself. Fires the pass up and off the stick. Coche drops it back. No look backhander. Almost worked out. Here's Coche again with it. Spins one out in front. Rossi on the rebound. Couldn't tap that one past the defender. As a big block shot there by the Cataracts. I believe that was Gagnon. As Yared couldn't intercept that feed. Bergeron in after it. Wasmer's there as well as is Laframboise. Duhamel now. Quick and over to that puck. Pokes it away, and here comes Dylan Rossi with it. Nice primary assist on the latest goal in this hockey game. That one belonging to Will Yared. As Duhamel is deep inside the offensive zone, pinching in here on this shift. Not able to make anything happen. Shawinigan back the other way. 3-on-3 with a shot in. Blocker to side by Corshane. We're going to have a whistle back in behind the play as well. And it's going to be a penalty. It looks like it's Gagnon, as he's palms up right now, looking back towards the bench for some reassurance. But it looks as though the Sea Dogs will get their first power play of the game as Louis Felix Gagnon off to the box. As on the season, the St. John Sea Dogs power play, 9th in the league. Floating just below 22%, 21.8 is what we are at right now. The penalty kill for the Cataracts is pretty much right in the middle of the league. They're at 9th at 78% even. So here's Joseph in to take the face-off on the Sea Dogs power play. Grew on his left since he got kicked out. All right, the linesman will talk things over here. Second time this face-off. We'll get the puck down eventually. Here's Baldwin. Off for Joseph. Off on the power play. Back for Joseph again. Up to the top of the point, Baldwin. Down low, Fullerton. Curls away from one. Angelo Fullerton looks cross-ice. That one just hops over the stick of Joseph, who jams on the brakes, tries to work it around his man to the inside. Fullerton now, far side at half wall. Here's Angelo Fullerton. Going to the point, Baldwin. Dishes it off, Joseph. Walks in, looking backdoor for Fullerton. Just fanned on that one-timer. Great vision by Alexi Joseph. Fires it. Cross seam on the no-look pass, and Fullerton just a second late on it. Couldn't cleanly get it off his stick. Here come the Dogs with it again. Baldwin goes all the way in himself, and he'll dump this one in. Lantier gets that one away from Donovan. Trying to clear the zone. Joseph attempts to hold. Up to the point. Here's Baldwin. Chips it down low again. Alexi Joseph looking up for Baldwin. Back for Joseph. Tries to take a shot in. It's going to be blocked off in front as Plant down with the knee to deflect that one wide. Now here comes Shawinigan 2-on-1 to the inside, trying for the shot. Corshane able to make the save. It bounces up and it will land in the blue paint. There's short-handed Raphael Corshane. Best stop of the hockey game so far. As we'll have to get another look at that one on the replay. As Shawinigan, the third most shorthanded goals in the league. One of the teams they're behind is St. John. Shawinigan with 11. And it's Vince Ellie, crosses the blue line, dishes it off. And then watch the blocker here of Raphael Corshane come up as he's able to punch this one away. Nope, we'll cut the replay too early and we won't get to see it. We have Vince Ellie. I believe that was Ligasakos, maybe Lacerte. It was one of the two. Corshane stopped it with the blocker, and the puck launched up into the air and just landed shy of the goal line. Corshane was able to cover it up. Here's Morin. Second unit now out for St. John. Coche, Morin, Yared, Rozzi, Duhamel. The 5 out. As here's Coche with it again now. He'll dish one off. Rozzi walks in, back for Coche. Nice pass. Coche just couldn't pull the trigger. This one in the skates of Duhamel, and it's a short-handed 2-on-1 again. Here's Lacerte walking in, curls and drags. Missed his spot. As that's 2-on-1s in this penalty kill. And Shawinigan has ended up missing both. As we're now back to 5-on-5. Here's Gagnon out of the box. He'll receive a check. As the whistle will blow. It's not exactly sure what's going on here. Potentially an icing call, it looks like. As here's another look at the 2-on-1. Lacerte comes in, curls and drags, and that one fired just wide to the glove side. Felix Lacerte was looking for goal number 34 on the season and shorthanded goal number 4 on the season. And it's not too many people above Felix Lacerte in shorthanded goals. Two guys that are. Alexi Joseph and Olivier Grew both tied for second in league shorthanded goals with 4. Dawson Sharkey from Newfoundland leads the league. 6 shorthanded goals on the year. Impressive stat line. As Grew gets kicked out of the face-off again, I believe. And that's been 3 times in a row. Now here's Joseph. He'll face off against Bergeron, who snaps that draw back. As now here comes Fullerton with it again. Bobbles that one briefly, as it looks like we're still short-handed. My apologies. Thought I heard the goalie bang his stick on the ice there. Here's Fullerton with it again. Still on the power play, St. John looking to set up down low. Fullerton to the goal. That one smothered up by Fernandez as Angelo Fullerton opens up the hips. Tries to shovel one in, but Mathis Fernandez stays tall. As 2 overagers meet in the blue paint. Angelo Fullerton looking for goal number 17. As he's been quiet in his last 6, only 1 goal. So face off in the offensive zone. Ligasakos, Grew meet up in the circle. And it's one back. Here's Fullerton. Sweeps one in towards the goal. Donovan hustles. Tries to keep this one alive. Attempting to get it outside of the zone, and they will. As Hockley able to send it 200 feet down the length of the ice. Baldwin. From right in between the two circles in his own end. Fullerton. Over the red line. Dishes it off for Donovan. Didn't really have enough steam on it. And the Sea Dogs are offside. Grew waits. Touches up. Tries to keep it alive, but it'll be dumped down the length of the ice. As once again now, the Cataractes shots 13-12 in favor of the St. John Sea Dogs. As with 14:42 left to play in period number 2, St. John will try to exit the zone. Here they come. Joseph works in with a bad angled shot, not able to hit the target, and that puck's going to wrap all the way down the length of the ice. Baldwin will regroup once more. As they try to work their way in cleanly, it's broken up and they'll have to go again. There's Baldwin once more now. He'll take things all the way back as we are now back to 5-on-5. Here comes Everett Baldwin. Crosses over the blue line and he'll drop it back. Morin works it off and across. Zach Morin again now. Hits the trailer. Duhamel a shot. This one off and wide and up and out of play. And we will have a whistle as these two teams continue to battle it out. The Sea Dogs up by 1. It's been a tight one here from Shawinigan. Sea Dogs trying to steal the season series. At a 2-0 clip. Winning the first game 3-2 in overtime just over a week ago. Shawinigan 1-4 in their last 5, looking to get back into their winning ways. 6th in the league, 4th in their conference. They've already punched their ticket into the playoffs. Here's Duhamel, down low, curling around with it as a quick fire off there from Coche. Rossi, back in below the goal once more. Morin plays it off. It's going to be intercepted. Sea Dogs try to hold the zone, but they can't. Here they come. Back the other way. It's Schneider. Drops it off, driving in towards the blue paint, but not able to cleanly recept that pass was Charon. And there's Olivier Charon. Second attempt here. Tries to work it around. Duhamel able to chip that one past the Shawinigan defender, Laframboise, who's covering up the point. Quickly right back in again is Prudhomme, but he is offside. And with that, we'll step out. Sea Dogs still lead 2-1 here from Shawinigan on a Thursday night. Welcome back. Luke Much with you here on the Sea Dogs YouTube channel and Flow Hockey TV. 2 on the score for the St. John Sea Dogs. 14-12 the shots for the St. John Sea Dogs. 13 minutes left to play in our middle period. Here's Schneider. Tries to play this one up. It's going to be intercepted. Schneider, another guy who's had a great month of February. 6 games played, 7 points. The only game all month long where he's been held pointless so far was at TD Station against the St. John Sea Dogs in a 3-2 overtime loss. So we'll see if the Sea Dogs can repeat 38 points in 42 games for the rookie. Spinning away from one is Plant. Down low, Semenov. Quickly worked on there is Wasmer. Drabchinski trying to center a pass over for a Rue. Not going to connect. Klima plays a backhander outside of the zone, and Hockley will have to come back for it. Drew Hockley came back to Shawinigan from the NCAA. He played 31 games at Quinnipiac in the NCAA. That was last season. And now back here in the QMJHL. Here comes Olivier Grew over the red line. Dumps this one into the glove side. Donovan up to the half wall. Satin Jr. Again, it's going to be Grew. Up to the point it goes. Chartrand. Domfus waits, looks for the open lane. He'll take a shot. Tries for the tip of Fullerton. Just missed that one. Here is Angelo Fullerton. Banks this one outside of the glass. It's going to be now Grew with a quick shot in and off to the far blocker side. As Semenov can't connect with his intended target. D to D. Here's Domfus up for Grew. Captain will lead the way. Dump and chase. As Plamondon plays the reverse. Looking out in front there was Fullerton as he saw Donovan. Just couldn't get it to him. Domfus will lose that one out of the zone. Grew plays it back again. Here's Donovan gearing up with speed. Donovan drops it off. Fullerton now on the line change. Grew comes off, and here comes Yared. Fullerton lets a shot go. That one held in. Here's Magnuson. This up and over the cage. The rebound is going to drop down nicely for Bergeron. He'll hand it off. Prudhomme back for Bergeron. Curls and drags. That one couldn't find the blue paint or the cage of Corshane. As we have Yared with it again, trying to negotiate his way into the attacking zone. Runs into a sea of navy and yellow jerseys. And Shawinigan will try to get a line change. Rossi not going to let that happen. Off to the right-hand side, Bergeron with it again. He'll dump this one in as Laframboise is there. It's going to be Coche. Around the horn, he'll go. Held in narrowly at the blue line. Gagnon lets a shot go. Rebound in the slot is going to be gobbled up by Baldwin. And here comes Everett Baldwin with speed. Tampa Bay Lightning draft pick. Drops it back for Coche. He'll get it in deep. It's going to be quickly picked off there by the Cataractes. And Magnuson will collect inside of his own end. Playing the rim around. Baldwin's going to let it go up for Coche. He'll drop it back for Baldwin. Across for Magnuson. Magnuson looks up ice. Long lead feed. It's going to be dumped inside of the zone as Coche. Now Hernandez. A quick shot in from the point. That one just redirected off and wide. Wasmer again tries to work it him down low. Here's Rossi trying to activate. Dylan Rossi up to the point. Duhamel skate to stick. Keeps it in. Looking to chop one across for Rossi. There was Yared, but just off of his skate and wide. As this one will go down the length of the ice for an icing call. A dominating shift there by St. John. Just not able to capitalize against Mathis Fernandez. There's a look at the turnover. Quick rip in. As that would be the first time that the Sea Dogs scored against a goalie turnover. Almost an identical play back at TD Station when Donald Hickey played the rim around and Jacob Beaulieu before the trade deadline hammered it home from that very spot, but at TD Station. Here's Grew back to the point over Wasmer's stick, and he'll come back. Wasmer retrieves, tries to flutter a pass up. Doesn't have enough legs to get to the intended target. As Shawinigan will now regain control. 9 minutes left to play here from the Gervais Auto Center. And as back once more we will come for Wasmer, who's played a lot of minutes here tonight. Goal has seemed to give him some confidence as he'll forklift this one up. Inside of the Cataractes end, heavy hit laid there as the Sea Dogs once again in control. Wasmer, across he goes for Domfus. Beau Domfus, former Blainville Boisbriand Armada, will fire this one in. Now here comes Joseph looking to the goal. Grew partially collided there with Fernandez. Up we come once more. Here's Domfus. Beau Domfus curls away from one. Domfus goes cross ice. Hits Chartrand. Takes the shot. Rebound out in front. Domfus couldn't go for it. He had to respect the numbers game, and he will drift back. As Chartrand fires this one up off the stick of Joseph and inside of the Cataractes end, Fernandez goes over for Klima. Back once again now Plant. As Matthew Plant finds Crayer. Crayer now Gauthier along the half wall. 7:45 left to play in period number 2. Shot 16-13. Not a whole lot of shots here in the second period, but the players certainly will have to take advantage of them when the opportunity is there. As we have a delayed offside call and a stoppage in play. As we get set once again for the face-off, it's going to be Bergeron and Crayer. Matthew Crayer, the former 14th round selection in the 2024 QMJHL entry draft. Back whenever the 48-hour rule with the NCAA was still in place. Great pickup for St. John, no doubt about that. Good bottom six guy who can create some offense as well every now and then. Here comes Shawinigan right back in again. Bergeron, one-timer across. Schneider wasn't expecting it and fanned on the shot. Now here's Gauthier trying to get this one inside the zone. Heroux is there, and it's the fourth line heads off for a line change. They'll switch things up as a cross-ice feed comes, and now here's Klima dishing it off again, trying to race in another shot in and out of the glove of Corshane. It's going to be played back up again, trying to cross the red line, working their way inside the zone. Here comes Alex Donovan. Down low, has Fullerton with him. Fullerton has the puck now, quickly closed in on by 3 Shawinigan players. As, my goodness, trapping down that option. Here's Grew now, entering into the zone once again off the turnover. He'll play it in down low. Fullerton able to beat out his man to it. Grew to the point. Baldwin a drive in. And that one is going to be stopped up by Fernandez as Baldwin was ready to go. He had the gun loaded. But Fernandez able to hang on and stand tall. As Everett Baldwin, 11 goals. As mentioned earlier, 4th in defensive goals this season. The Providence College commit and Tampa Bay Lightning 5th round draft pick. Here's Yared. Not able to get this one to connect. As it flutters down, and again, here come the Shawinigan Cataractes. Broken up, Baldwin for Magnuson. Back for Baldwin again. Here he comes over the blue line, now the red. It's going to be Rossi, works it in. Yared quickly pressured there by Semenov. Koche is in there as well for St. John. He'll play it back for Magnuson. Across for Baldwin. Wants to shoot it. He'll wait. Tries to pull the trigger. Head LaFramboise spinning around there as they try to launch the puck in towards the goal. Rossi was tangled up there with somebody in front. Now it's going to be Yared behind the goal on the wraparound. Couldn't convert. Rossi dives, trying to keep it in. It's going to end up with the Cataractes. Back the other way, Sharon tries to dish it off. Now it's Koche. Can't hammer that one outside the zone. Another long drive in. Corshane was ready for that one as the official wants them to keep playing. Baldwin upset. He wanted the whistle. But they aren't going to get it. As it's Vince Ellie, the lone Cataract in on Carlotta Magnuson. He'll find Alexi Joseph. Joseph fires a pass up and off the stick of Moran and inside of the zone. Only one defender able to change for St. John, but an icing call will allow Magnuson to get off the ice, and it will allow us to take a timeout. Sea Dogs still up by 1 here against the Cataract from Shawinigan. Welcome back. Still 2 on the score for the St. John Sea Dogs to look to sweep the season series against the Shawinigan Cataractes. Luke Much with you here on Flow Hockey TV or the Sea Dogs YouTube channel. As we are back underway again into the final 5 minutes of our second period. Shots 18-15 in favor of St. John, who have just been steadily keeping the gas on here. And we'll see if they can continue that into the intermission. Here's Grew. Plays it around the horn. Klima hustles, and he'll beat out Zach Moran for that loose puck. Joseph now with Duhamel. In comes Grew. Now Wasmer is stuck out. Tries to block off the pass out in front. Ellie just fanned on that one. Here comes Lacerte. First line buzzing here for the Cataractes. Corshane down. Able to hold on as Matthew Plante jumped up and into the rush. As we've had 2 defenseman goals here already. The 2 number 3s, Wasmer, Lantier, now Plante, looking for his 6th of the season. Former 10th round draft pick. Impressive. A Quebec native. As Plante just had that one bobble on him. Couldn't get the shot away cleanly as Corshane was able to block the house and put the glove down. As Yared wins this face-off, Chartrand plays it around, looking to fire a pass up cross ice. As we have Yared in a foot race for it, Domfus, but we're going to have a whistle and a stop to play off the high stick. And with that, looks like the face-off's going to come back at the center ice. The official made the signal that there's a high stick. But I believe if that was the case, then the face-off would have to come back into one of the team's ends. So either way, doesn't matter. Face-off at center ice. Puck is down as Schneider wins the face-off this time. 4 minutes left to play here from period number 2 in Shawinigan. As we'll have an icing call against the Cataract. And now the Sea Dogs with an offensive zone face-off. And a chance to enhance their lead. As St. John, they've been passing the love around. 5 players with a point here tonight. As it's been a lot of dispersion on the Sea Dogs roster. So another long drive down. So it looks like the icing was canceled out as we went from the center ice location again. And we'll see if this one will be an icing. And we'll work our way back into the Cataracts end again. Crayer once again out to take the face off with Donovan and Fullerton. There's a bit of a switch up in the lines. Now dumping this one in. Here's Semenov. Nice back touch feed there. Looking for the streaking Nathan Wallette. As again, St. John trying to get it outside of the zone. Wallette continues to hold the line. As we have Drabchinski, and it looks as though we have a hand pass called. As we've come to a stop and start flow here from Shawinigan. As the Sea Dogs look to make it 3 wins in a row. 1 against Shawinigan, then 1 against Victoriaville, and now another opportunity to take 2 points away from the Cataract. As sent down and below the goal of Corshane. Ellie is there, the former Sea Dog. Crayer now tries to poke this one up. Donovan takes a chop at it, and here comes Alex Donovan. Spins, waiting for help, but an offside call will slow us down here once more. Yes, there's a look at Felix Lacerte, 79 points in 62 games last year. This year, as you can see on your screen, 75 points in 54. On pace to beat out those numbers. Part of this heavy first line here for the Cataract with Klima and Vincelli. As Wasmer now sweeps this one outside the zone, held in by Klima off the turnover. Shot coming in. Klima had both goals that the Sea Dogs surrendered last time they played. The Cataracts turned over out in front, scores. Oh boy. As Vincelli steps up and hammers that one into the cage past Raphael Corshane. And just like that, we are all tied here from Shawinigan. Ellie's 21st of the season. His 43rd point. As let's take a look here. Puck is down low. Wasmer. Pizza right up the middle. Vincelli. That's now 2 Shawinigan goals with 0 assists. As Ellie pounces on it and beats Corshane up top. And that is a turnover that you cannot make. Right up the middle. And because of that, we're tied at 2. In the last few minutes, and again, Olivier Grew kicked out of the face-off circle. As he's been victim to that a lot here tonight. So, 2:45 left to play in period number 2. Puck will be sent down the length of the ice. As the Sea Dogs will try to get their lead back here again. Pretty even game. It's been back and forth. As we have a puck battle for it up and along the wall. Grew is going to lose it as eventually the numbers game catches up to him, trying to work it back, and here he comes. Here's Grew, blows a tire, tries to get the puck over for Joseph, but Prudhomme was able to strip it away from him. Now again, it's Morin inside of the offensive zone. Looks back, Alexi Joseph down low. Here's Morin. Zach Morin again, up to the point. Dom Foose, great job, able to hold that one, and he'll take a shot, rifled up and over the cage. Joseph again, down low, looking for his captain, Grew. Up to the point once again. Dom Foose takes another shot. This one tipped off in front. As we had Sharon with a little bit of trouble there. Now Chartrand sends it across Morin. Looking back again, it's going to be Grew. Back to the point, Chartrand. Dom Foose spins, waits. 90 seconds, left to go with Dom Foose a drive in. That one off and wide and cleared outside the zone. As again, it's going to be Grew. Down it comes Fernandez. Dishes it off, and outside of the Shawinigan territory, it will come once again. Vincelli, the first one to the puck. He plays it up, looking for the far side at half wall. It's going to be Plant to the point, another shot in. The rebound is going to be fought off there as Fullerton able to get it outside of the zone. Now here come the Dogs. Donovan bobbles the puck at the blue line. So a delayed offside, and that allows Ellie to cut back in again, deflected off and wide as Baldwin got a stick on it. Now looking out in front, Ellie with the backhander off the pad, of course, Shane and wide. Donovan once again tries to slide his way through. It's going to be Crayer taking it to the inside. Fullerton chips one in and around the horn. As we have Crayer with it again. Ellie, now Donovan. It's Fullerton back again. 23 seconds left to play here from period number 2. Shots are all square. The score is all square between the Sea Dogs and the Cataract. Dump back inside of the Dogs' end again. Baldwin, the first one to it. Around for Fullerton. Fullerton waits, sees the clock, and he will resort back to behind his own goal. So, after 2 periods of play, the score is 2-2 between the Sea Dogs and the Shawinigan Cataracts. In our second period, we only had 1 goal. Vincelli, unassisted, his 21st of the season, went short side on Raphael Corshane, and he tied this game up. With that, we'll step out when we come back. Period 3 action between the Sea Dogs and the Shawinigan Cataractes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. 40 minutes in the books, 20 left to go here from Shawinigan. 2-2 is the score between the Sea Dogs and the Cataractes. When tied after 2, the Sea Dogs are 3-4-1. The Cataractes are 5-3-0-1. So we'll see what happens. Looks like we could be on pace for another one-goal finish, just like these two teams had just over a week ago when they played last. Here's Klima inside the zone. It's going to be Wasmer out there. Now Ellie with the puck. He'll float one up to the top of the point. It's Plant back for Ellie. Cross ice. Klima looking out in front. And Corshane able to make the save. This one will be cleared down the length of the ice, but on goal. So Fernandez will clear it off to the side, dropping it back again. Here they come, back the other way. Mind you, Sea Dogs short-handed. It's a 5-on-4 opportunity. As with it now, Plant, cross ice, Ligasakos, who, knock on wood for Sea Dogs fans, has had a relatively quiet game. Klima takes the shot, that one off and wide, and here they come, back the other way. Joseph able to get this one outside of the zone. And head off for a line change. That's Laframboise. Bobbled that puck back again and inside of Cataract territory. Lacerte enters in and over the blue line once again. Down low with it. Magnuson comes out to challenge. As we have the Sea Dogs trying to spring themselves while shorthanded. Most shorthanded goals in the league is St. John, as that one was close for Angelo Fullerton. Fans wanting a call will have to wait and see if the Cataractes get one, as Fullerton took down his man. Here's now Plamondon. Down low Sharon as the second unit starts to come out. Magnuson tries to wrap this one down the ice, and it does not get there. It will bounce into the bench and out of play, as Domfus and Sharon mixing it up after the whistle. So Sea Dogs still on the PK, as Everett Baldwin took an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at the end of the second period. Well, that would allow this power play to get to work, as there's Fernandez. You talk about waiting till the last second, man. Did he ever do that? As Fullerton was close, that was almost a gift for the Sea Dogs 20-year-old forward. As this one sent down right off the draw, and that will pretty much do it for the power play. As Coche with it now. Out of the box, we're back to 5-on-5. Sea Dogs now 2 for 2 on the PK. As over the line, here comes Schneider. Tries to go to the outside of Duhamel, who's boxed out. Now Coche. Back for Duhamel again. Here comes Cameron Chartrand. Chartrand fires a pass up off the skate of Crayer, and he'll dump this one in as Coche tries to go in after it. Fullerton still out there as well for the Sea Dogs. Excuse me, that's Coche, not Fullerton. 91, not 81. As here is the 81 for the Cataractes. Schneider with Sharon dumping this one in. Settled down behind the goal. Everett Baldwin now. Tries to work it over the red line. Turned over, and it's a breakaway. Bad line change. Here come the Cataractes. Scores. As Chartrand went to the bench right after Baldwin turned it over. And that's going to allow Nathan Wallette to get on the board. Called up for this evening's matchup. And now the Sea Dogs are down. They've gifted the Cataractes 2 goals here this evening. All 3 goals for the Shawinigan Cataractes are unassisted. As there's the turnover, Chartrand heads off. Drabczynski couldn't get on in time. As Baldwin tries to split 2 Cataractes. Chartrand was already halfway off the ice, but you have to be aware of your surroundings. And that is 2 goals put on a silver platter for the Shawinigan Cataract. And because of that, they lead the hockey game. Frustrating to say the least for the St. John Sea Dogs. Here's Donovan. All 3 goals off of a turnover for the Cataractes. Sea Dogs making it difficult for themselves as Grew goes up to the point. Wasmer lets a shot go. Back in behind the goal again. Looking out in front. Not going to connect. As we now have Grew with it again. Here's Wasmer. Now wrapping one out in front. Donovan wasn't able to cleanly get his stick on that one. Trying to tip it now. Driving in towards the blue paint is Fullerton. Fernandez able to stand tall as Hockley, Donovan, Fullerton in there messing around. Cooler heads will eventually prevail. As Nathan Wallett has the go-ahead goal right now for the Shawinigan Cataractes. Most recently, he was playing U18 hockey in Quebec for the Blizzard, Seminaire Saint Francois Blizzard. And now scoring for his QMJHL club. For Wallett, too, he was drafted. He's a third rounder in the most recent QMJHL entry draft. 51st overall, to be exact. And a great start to him, to his career in the QMJHL. He's now playing in game number 8. Now has 3 goals and 1 assist. He's been strong, looking like a great pick here for the Cataractes. Here's Ellie, tries to throw a backhander in. Corshane down to make the save. So the fans getting into it here in Shawinigan. 3-2 the score for their team as they are in the lead. And an offensive zone face-off. Here they come once in again as they're trying to find the front of the goal. The blue paint there. Not able to take charge though. That's now Laframboise. Fullerton dumps this one in. It's going to be Plamondon with the backhander. Up and along the red line. As we have Joseph. Now Grew. Looking to set things up. It's back once again as the Sea Dogs try to orchestrate their way out of their own end. Dumped inside now. Fernandez out to play it. Drops it off Lanche. Little bit of confusion. Able to keep things rolling. As it's thrown up to the top of the point. Trying to get a shot on. It's a battle out in front of the goal. Looks like Grew is in on Fernandez, who's just letting him eat the blockers. No penalty on the play. Wasmer. Once again now. Here they come. It's going to be dumped in on a line change. That will allow Fernandez to get there first. So Shawinigan from their own end, gearing up. Here comes Jonathan Prudhomme. Battled away from him. Coche plays it around. Baldwin works it up past Nolan Aru. Aru tries to fork that puck inside of the zone with help from Crayer. He does. Fernandez goes and plays the backhander around for Prudhomme. As this one is going to be airlifted, settling down inside of Sea Dogs territory. Drop back. Schneider looking to let one fly. He'll take a shot and he'll score from a bad angle. Elias Schneider goes up top again on Corshane, and he'll make it a 4-2 hockey game. As the Cataracts now have 3 unanswered goals. As we mentioned, Schneider, his only pointless game in all of February was in the 3-2 overtime loss that the Cataracts had to the Sea Dogs. He's not pointless anymore. And this is the first goal for the Cataracts that has not come off of a turnover. Good zone entry, hands it off. Schneider drags Aru over with him. Aru jams on the brakes. Magnuson doesn't come over. Up top and into the back of the net. Making it a 4-2 game for the Cataract. Here's Kleeman out. Fans on that pass. Fullerton tries to spring himself. Under 14 minutes left to play. Worked inside the zone, Hockley. Grew is there, as is Angelo Fullerton. Fullerton tries to go up to the top of the point, intercepted, bouncing around. Here's Felix Lacerte. Fires a pass off to his right. It's Ellie looking to the inside, just too far ahead for Klima. Ellie again on the recollect. Throws it up to the top of the point. Here's Plamondon. Back for Ellie again. Waits, dishes. Lacerte couldn't pull the trigger. Works his way back up again to the top of the zone. Cuts in, looking for the shooting lane. Good stick work there by Yared. Loose out in front, they score. Klima on the back door. It was all Felix Lacerte. Klima doesn't have many easier than that. Takes it quickly to the backhander. Shovels it by Corshane. Now 5-2 for the Cataract. Look at Lacerte. Yared works it free. There's the shot off the skate. And Dom Foose was tied up. He had his man out in front. That one's a tough one to give up. Fullerton tried to stick lift Klima as well, but too strong on it was Yuri Klima. And because of that, we have ourselves a 5-2 game. The officials talking about something, though. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with that. Looks like we're all right. All set to go again. So Schneider from Sharon and Prudhomme will make it 4-2. And then Klima from Lacerte and Ellie. The top line gets to work. Vince Ellie, multi-point game. It's his 11th multi-point game of the season. As the Sea Dogs now down by 3. Travis Crickard not happy with something here. Very animated on the bench for a second, and Fullerton's got to be careful here. Fullerton's got to be careful. As he's very upset. Might have been a penalty back on the play that the officials missed. Just trying to think. In my head, Fullerton had his chin strap undone when the goal went in, so maybe a potential high stick was missed? Hard to tell. Off the draw, the official is going to send Yared and Schneider. And now Yared's hot. We'll stay 5-on-5. Yared still going at it with the official here. As the Sea Dogs' temper starting to flare here. And with that, I believe that we will step out for a TV timeout. We'll have to wait and see. Just to make sure, and we will. Sea Dogs now trailing by 3 here from Shawinigan. We're back underway here from Shawinigan as it's Wasmer picking things up with 13 minutes left to go in period number 3. 4 goals in a row for the Cataractes as they have exploded here in period number 3. It was 2-2 after 40 minutes of play. As this puck outside of the zone, it's going to be now Dumais trying to get it worked free. As off to the left. Here we go. It's Nathan Ouellet. Here comes Ouellet inside of the zone. Spins back and away from Bergeron, who's out there with him, as is Dumais. Dumais wins the puck, cuts in with a shot. That one is going to be off and wide to the blocker side. Here's Wasmer now. Over the blue line, dumping this one in. Sea Dogs look to recollect. Klima turns on the Jets over the blue line, cuts into the backhand. This one off and wide to the blocker side. As we get set to come again, but we're going to get a penalty on the play, as I think it's Gagnon, potentially. And I believe it will be, as Louis Felix Gagnon heads off to the box. Sea Dogs back to the power play. Gagnon's second penalty of the game. Sea Dogs 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Nope, they're going to take 2, I believe, so that's my apologies. As there's Baldwin and Gagnon going at it. Yeah, right call there to take both of them, I would say. If you're going to take one, you got to take the other. Unless Gagnon took the extra, but I don't believe so. So, once again, penalty box getting full here in Shawinigan. This will stay at 5 aside. As an icing call against the Dogs. And we will pick things back up once again in the zone of Raphael Courchain. Face off to the blocker side. For a Thursday night, of course, a reminder that the Sea Dogs are in action tomorrow, 8 o'clock, against the Sherbrooke Phoenix. And then they will round out this road trip, not Saturday, but Sunday, where they will face off against the Gatineau Olympique at 4 o'clock. Round out the weekend. As we'll have a whistle. As the Sea Dogs was a strong opening 40, but just too many mistakes, as now Fullerton going to head off to the box. And it looks like it might be a power play here. We'll have to wait and see. And it looks like it. So, a power play again here for the Cataract. As Fullerton heads off. And the Sea Dogs PK will have to get to work again. 2 for 2 so far here this evening. Is back inside of their own end. Here's Matthew Plante. Plante goes across. Klima works his way in as it's Lacerte. Dropping it off again. Plante fires one cross ice. Looking to get set up here as it's played around. We have Ligasakos far side. Lacerte close side looking for Ligasakos. And it's back again to the top of the blue line. Plante works his way in. Tries to cut to the goal. Ellie takes it. And he'll slow things down. Vince Ellie. Up to the middle. Here's Lacerte. Takes the shot. Courchain fights it off. As again, it's going to be Lacerte working it for Ellie. Another drive in. Fought off once again. As now we have Ellie working it far side. Now it's Plante. Takes the shot. Fought off. And looking for the recollect. As Klima's taking over Ligasakos' spot on this power play with 10 minutes left to go and 40 seconds left on this power play. Vince Ellie looking to negotiate his way through the neutral zone once again. Over the red line, now the blue. He'll turn and fire one, rank wide. Laframboise takes his time with it. Haven't noticed much of Ligasakos. Potential maybe for an injury here. He was quite noticeable last time I saw Shawinigan, but either way, here comes Alexi Joseph. Hands it off. Breakaway in towards the goal. Nice stop. As Zach Morin tried to go blocker side on Fernandez. But Mathis Fernandez up to the challenge. He stopped 19 out of 21 as the Sea Dogs go offside. Only a few more seconds left. A power play time here for the Cats. Plamondon out there for the Cataractes and head coach Daniel Renault. Alternate captain with this group of players. Shawinigan, a team that kind of sold at the deadline there. Or not really a sell, but a retool, I guess I should say. But would be interesting to see where they still are. They're 6th in the league right now, but gearing up towards next year. Couple of good pieces. Take a look at their lineup. Of course, the big question mark is in the crease. Fernandez leaving. Philippe Boucher is 10-7 this year with a .354 goals against and an .886 save percentage. But people like Bergeron and Olivier Chiron, who was traded here from Cape Breton, one of the odder moves that we've seen in the QMJHL. Then Lacerte, I would say it's pretty much a guarantee that he's gone. He'll forego his 20-year-old season to play in the NCAA. Klima, he's a 19 this season as well. Interesting to see what he'll do. Laframboise is a nice piece. Vince Ellie, of course, he's at the end of his career. But then you have people like Schneider, Ligasakos, Semenov, if he can get going a little bit. There's definitely a bright future ahead, really, for both teams. Take a look what the Sea Dogs got. Starts all with Alexi Joseph, then guys like Olivier Groux, Nolan Aru, Will Yared, Zach Morin, Alex Donovan, Dylan Rossi. Of course, a bunch of these NCAA permitting. As once again back underway with 8:45 left to play in period number 3. Will of Semenov from behind his own goal. Goes off and cross ice as they look to gear up. We'll wait for a few seconds before again it's fired down. Chartrand back around for Schneider. Trying to move this one through the middle of the ice. It's going to be Crayer. Dishes it off Donovan. Back for Crayer again. Crayer looks to play a backhander. It's picked off, and here comes Schneider. In on a 2-on-2, back the other way. He'll wait up for some help. Drops it off. Semenov once again looks to set up shop. As he'll hit his man far side at half one. Now here's Plant with the drive, and Corshane able to snag that one with the glove. And he will hang on for the whistle. As Raphael Corshane. It's been a busy night here for him. So once again, looking to set up. Here come the Sea Dogs. Yared crosses over the blue line. Dishes it off. Duhamel wins this one back, and now here come the Cataract back the other way. 3-on-1 into the Sea Dogs, and Plant shoots and scores. Matthew Plant continues to pipe home the goals here for the Cataracts on a 3-on-1, another turnover. That ends up in the back of St. John's net. That's the 4th goal tonight. That came from a turnover. As Plant buries it, nice pass over. As it looks like it's Dumais that made the feed in the 4th line. Another goal for Shawinigan. Can't blame Corshane on that one. What else can you do? Tried his best. 6-2 now the score. 5 unanswered for Shawinigan. We're heading into this one. Shawinigan's third period was their worst in goals for and goals against. They had a -7 goal differential. Here's Satin Jr. walks in. That one almost beat Corshane as well on a nifty shot in upwards to the short side. As we have 7:10 now left to play. Up the blue line, Lanchier sidestepping one there is going to be Semenov. He'll take a shot. Corshane fought that one off with his mask, it looks like. As again, it's going to be the Sea Dogs trying to stick left their way and lodge that puck free. It's Dumais again, walking in, looking to center one off in front. Corshane down. Bergeron tries to wrap that one in before it's taken over by Dom Foose, who's played pretty good here tonight, I've thought. I've liked his game. Active on the back end for sure. It's going to be taken away on this attempt, though. But it will be an offside on the play. As Gagnon once again mixing it up. This time he'll pick Beau Dom Foose. As it looks like we're all set and ready to go again. St. John from their own end. It's going to be sent down as Shawinigan once again on the recollect. Quickly turning and firing one in. Here's Bergeron. Chartrand there to meet him. As once again, Cam Chartrand. Good to see him back here with the Sea Dogs. As a few games under his belt. As we have now Crayer. With it from his own end. Matt Crayer launches it out. Trying to reel one in again is Nolan Aru. He lost his stick, however. And now back for Plante once again. As Matthew Plante with his 6th goal of the season. Julian Lanchier with his 3rd goal of the season. The 2 goals scored by defensemen here this evening for the Cataractes. Of course, Julian Wasmer got his first as a Sea Dog as well. Morin can't sidestep Semenov. As now once again, Plante goes rink wide, trying to fire feed up ice, and now here they come. It's now going to be Laframboise. 5:04 left to go. We'll have another stoppage of play. And I believe that we might step out. If my math is correct. It's been wrong before. And we will. There's the buzzer. And we'll meet back up after this. Welcome back to the broadcast. Luke Much with you on the Sea Dogs YouTube channel and Flow Hockey TV. Thanks so much for tuning in here tonight, especially if you're on the YouTube channel. Obviously not with you on our Sea Dogs audio network. So we appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight on YouTube and on Flow Hockey, of course. As time winding down here in Shawinigan, Sea Dogs will have to reset and go back to battle again tomorrow against the Sherbrooke Phoenix. Important points here as the Sea Dogs try to improve their spot in the playoffs. As we have Jonathan Prudhomme. Sending it in down low is going to be Wallet. Now Schneider. Sea Dogs shorthanded again. As trying to work their way through. Wallet is pocket picked, and now here come the Sea Dogs shorthanded once again. Lead the league in shorthanded goals. That one just ripped off wide. How about Julian Wasmer jumping up into the play? Now here's the bad part about it. 2-on-1 the other way. Nice job by Duhamel. Able to break things up. As we have Alexei Joseph sweeping it along Duhamel. It's going to be Wasmer. Banks this one down the length of the ice. 4:06 left to play in period number 3. Is Alexei Joseph now getting into it with a Cataract member. Looks like Jonathan Prudhomme. As the two of them continue to chat their way. So, once again, this time, another face-off. Getting settled up here in the offensive zone. Here's Laframboise, loses it. Magnuson unloads this one off and wide to the blocker side as we have Prudhomme. Here is Jonathan Prudhomme. Now it's going to be Lacerte. Takes a swing at that one, but it's going to deflect up and out of play, I believe. And it will. The face-off will stay inside. As I believe it's going to stay a 5-on-4. I didn't get a clear sign here from the official. And I think it's going to be a 5-on-3. So we'll have to wait and see here at the mercy of the monitor. Know one thing, and that is that the linesman's ready to go. Lacerte grew in the face-off circle. Sea Dogs penalty kill getting a lot of reps here tonight. It's a 5-on-3. Sea Dogs been shorthanded 5 times here tonight. The Cataractes only twice. Up to the point. Ellie lays it off. Gets it back again. Here's Vince Ellie. One-time blast by Klima. Couldn't find the back of the cage. This one cleared right up the middle, down the length of the ice. 3:25 left to go. Here's Plant. Now Ellie works his way in. Ellie waits. Back up to the top of the point again. Plant. Now it's Lacerte. Waits. Looks. Klima. Back for Lacerte again. Hit off the stick of Wasmer. Lacerte shoots. That one deflects up wide as Plant once again has that puck on the recollect. Now a one-timer. Ellie shoots. Corshane. Nice stop. Rebound. Corshane down. Able to save that one as well. On a great effort there by Raphael Corshane. No quit in his game. Makes a couple great stops on that penalty kill. Still lots of time to go on the PK unit as well. As it's now a 5-on-4. So the Sea Dogs continue their busy night on the penalty kill. Work back up to the point again. Prudhomme dishes this one down low. Now Shawinigan tries to thread the needle through the inside, taking a shot. Bergeron on that rebound. To the half wall now. That's Wallet. Works it off. Now Dumais. Back to the top of the point. Prudhomme. Across Wallet. Takes the shot. This one up and over the blocker side. As once again another puck up and out of play. And another souvenir for a lucky fan as the cameraman quick here in Shawinigan. As there's a look at that last opportunity. There's the back-to-back saves by Corshane. As good skating there, able to place that blocker up high. Block that puck from going into the back of the cage as we have Bergeron. Prudhomme back for Dumais, back for Bergeron again. 2:20 left to play. Corshane fights off another one. Shots at one point were 18-16 in favor of the Sea Dogs. They're now 34 for 22 in favor of Shawinigan, who have piled on the shots here in this third period. This one sent down the length of the ice as we now have 120 seconds left to play. It's going to be Plamondon. Puck rolls away from him. Still trickles over the blue line, however. As the Sea Dogs now back to 5-on-5. Plamondon dishes it off. Now we have Satin. Back for Baldwin. Here's Dom Foose. Gauthier. Works it off wide. Baldwin again for Crayer. Here comes Matt Crayer. Looks back for Baldwin. Couldn't connect. Hockley. Back for Plamondon. Plamondon can't flee the zone either. Fourth line for St. John trying to get to work with 75 seconds left to play. Throwing this one up the middle of the ice, right up the gut. Gauthier intercepts that feed. Able to slam it deep inside the zone. As with it now, Semenov plays the dump in. 50 seconds left to play. Drabchinski is quickly measured there. It's going to be worked back around the short side half wall. Donovan. Now Nolan Aru working it in, and Fernandez content to hold on with 39.8 seconds left to go. We'll be back here with you same time tomorrow night, 8 o'clock versus the Sherbrooke Phoenix. As the Sea Dogs look to bounce back, that'll be game 2 of 3, and then Sunday for a 4 o'clock puck drop against the Gatineau Olympique. Lantier now plays across ice. And it's going to be Rossi. That dumps this one in. Now we have Dom Foose back for Yared. Rossi tries to play it up. Donovan flees the zone. He's able to get away from the Shawinigan attack. As this one airmailed through the neutral zone, we have Rossi for Donovan. Donovan trying to take a shot. Can't get it in towards the blue paint. Once again, Plante plays it around Lantier. Gears up, throws a long Hail Mary pass down the length of the ice, and that will pretty much do it here for this one. 2-2 after 2 periods of play, but the Cataractes explode for 4 unanswered goals. A few bad turnovers were the death of the Sea Dogs here in this one. An opportunity to fix it for tomorrow, however, against the Sherbrooke Phoenix. I'm sure that head coach Travis Cricket will have his boys ready to go again this time tomorrow. On behalf of myself, Luke Much, and the St. John Sea Dogs, thank you for tuning in, and we'll meet back up here same time tomorrow evening.